You're listening to CBC Online at cbchs.org.
You are with CBC Online, and we are with Coach Mason Horne and the Dugout Show, brought to you by Technology Partners. And Coach, you're gearing up for the season. What do you do in the final couple of weeks, beginning before tryouts? What kind of processes do you go through?
Me personally, I'm just trying to kind of get all my ducks in a row and make sure practice settings are set up, and you kind of go back to last year and you start thinking about what guys did last year and kind of what you know is coming in. But until you get to the tryout, you really don't know where everybody is. So from my standpoint, it's just more about getting all the information gathered up and how I want to present that to the players. And once you go through the trial process, then you basically are ready to go, and you set your team and you go.
Well, let's stop you there. I mean, how many times does a player truly have a clean slate? I mean, you do have some, you have a lot of tape, a lot of film, a lot of observations of a guy in his junior year, and he comes back his senior year. What does he have to do to impress you?
Well, I think he's just got to be, ready to go. It's the one thing that I always tell the players is, there's an old cliche in sports, and it's not what you've done, it's what you do. So I make that very clear to them during our pre-trial meetings that, even though you may have had a great, year last year, or you may have been a great varsity performer, or maybe you had a great summer and great fall, it really counts what you do today and moving forward. So, the things that I'm looking for, again, is that they come in ready to go, and that they've got a real good spirit about them, that they're excited about the year. And that they're committed to the season and to CBC, and then ultimately try to put those guys together and let's go win a championship.
But kind of the old way of thinking is, do coaches really have an open mind, or are you kind of set on what you got, or do you truly have an open mind at this point?
I definitely have an open mind every year. My philosophy on coaching is that we certainly don't know everything as coaches, and the game is constantly evolving. There's certain fundamentals that haven't changed for 100 years, but at the same time, I'm very open-minded. I think that kind of comes from my college background. You're always looking for a competitive edge. So I think the only way to try to get that edge is you have to be open-minded, and you have to kind of move with the times. And for me personally, I bring every kid in like it's it's a new day. I think every year is a great opportunity for somebody to excel, and we just want them to come in with the right attitude, and sky's the limit.
So last week we talked a little bit about the entire tryout process, and this week I want to talk a little bit about skill sets and bad habits. Let's talk about the freshmen. You get a lot of kids coming out of grade school, some kids that work with private coaches, private pitching coaches. What is it that you need to do to kind of break them, or what kind of bad habits do you see, and what do you have to do to break them of those bad habits to have success at the freshman level?
Well, some of the bad habits you definitely see, like from a fielding standpoint, let's say, there's what we call false steps. And this really is just, without getting down and actually showing you, the first thing we want to do when we're fielding a ground ball is we want to attack the ball. So what I mean by a false step is you'll see guys take steps backwards, maybe take a step to the side, things like that. They kind of get a little flash and a little flare. They see see the big leaguers do it. That's one thing, one in particular thing that I see of guys coming in to a new season is they have kind of created these false steps. And that's one way that we really try, or one thing that we really try to break right away from a fielding standpoint is really attack the ball, really go after the baseball and try to alleviate some of those false steps. Another kind of a bad habit that I really am trying to break every year is, infielders patting their glove, or what we call, kind of double clutching or double pumping with the ball and the glove in their hand. So they'll field the ball, they'll kind of pop they'll kind of take the ball out of the glove, and then they'll put it back into the glove, and they'll kind of do one of these before they actually release the ball. And that's a really nasty habit that can create a lot of problems, most notably with the release point of their throw. They try to, once you do that once, and then they kind of look up and see that the runner's down the line, they have to hurry their throw up. And a lot of times that will affect the release point and the ball will be thrown all over the place. So those are a couple examples of, from a fielding standpoint, bad habits that we have to correct right away. Probably another one from a hitting standpoint would be just, again, a lot of false movements. You know, there needs to be rhythm, there needs to be a trigger mechanism, but at the same time, there's a lot of guys that when they've hit, especially their incoming freshmen, when they face lower velocity, they've got a lot of false movements going on, and as the velocity increases, you know, if you're moving around a lot, you know, which again, if comfort is the issue and the stance and whatnot, you're okay. But if there's a lot of extra movement going on that doesn't need to be there, that can be a bad habit that'll really take away from consistent contact.
So let's bring it up to the varsity level. I mean, these guys obviously been a little bit more seasoned to your way of playing the game, but what are some of the habits that you see even at the varsity level that just drive you crazy?
It's everything I just said. You know, it really is. It really doesn't change. I saw the same thing at the college level. You know, guys would go off for summer ball, and they would come back in the fall, and you'd see the exact same habits, the false steps defensively, the patting of the glove, you know, little bigger swings going on. It really doesn't change from level to level. So, you know, you just try to hammer it as quick as you can and try to, you know, break those habits as fast as you can and just kind of throw them out there and let them go. Again,
this is the Dugout Show with Coach Mason Horne, brought to you by Technology Partners. And before we go, I want to talk a little about your summer camp for the grade school kids. That's going to be the second week of June. You can check the CBC website in the athletics department. But talk about that camp and what is your approach to teaching the grade schoolers? What are you trying to get out?
Yeah, the grade school guys, first of all, we want to introduce what we do here at CBC. I mean, there's basic fundamental skill sets that we're teaching, and we cover everything. We even have what we call our baseball Olympics, which is kind of a test, if you will, at the end of the week where we throw them out in different, I don't want to call them showcase scenarios, but that's kind of what it is. And we want to see some arm strength. We want to see it's kind of a home run derby. We try to have a lot of fun with it. But really we are focused on teaching fundamentals and, more importantly, the fundamentals that we really teach here at CBC. The second camp, of course, is the incoming freshman camp, and that is really geared towards preparing these guys for life at CBC as a baseball player. So we'll spend a couple days going through the fundamentals again, and then we'll spend a couple days literally running them through a day in the life of a practice at CBC.
And finally, you guys finished a little short last year, but still got that competitive spirit, still kind of hungry at the varsity level to be back in the hunt for the state championship. How realistic is that this year?
I think it's very realistic. We've got a lot of talent. I mean, you lose a lot, obviously, from last year, but at the same time, we've got a lot of talent on the mound. I think pitching is going to be the premium thing that's going on this year with the new bats. What's our identity? I don't really know yet. But we're very talented. On the mound, we've got a lot of talented arms that if they throw strikes, we're going to have a really good chance to win. And what I really like about this group, Rob, more than anything, is that they're very hungry. I think last year definitely left a sour taste in their mouth, and they're eager to compete and go after it.
Good stuff. Again, this is the Dugout Show with Coach Mason Horne, brought to you by Technology Partners. And, Coach, we'll check you out next time.
Thank you. Thank you.
CBC, Men for Tomorrow, Brothers for Life.